Hollywood sells a fantasy: flawless skin, ageless beauty, and faces that never change. But behind the red carpets and photo shoots, countless stars have battled a brutal truth. The pursuit of perfection can take everything from you. For some celebrities, a simple touch-up spiraled into years of regret, lost confidence, career disruption, and a sense of self that slowly slipped away. Today, you're about to discover the shocking, emotional, and eye-opening journeys of famous faces who went under the knife expecting transformation, only to lose the one thing they needed most: their natural identity. Stay until the end, because the final story reveals a side of fame that will completely change how you view the cost of beauty. Linda Evangelista, the supermodel who disappeared. In the 1990s, Linda Evangelista didn't just model, she defined an era. Her face dominated over 700 magazine covers, turning her into the gold standard of elegance. But in 2015, a non-surgical cool sculpting procedure dramatically altered her life in ways she never imagined. What should have been a quick, trendy treatment for stubborn fat resulted in a rare reaction known as paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, a condition where the treated areas grow instead of shrink. It happens to less than 1% of patients, but Linda fell into that heartbreaking minority. Her chin, thighs, and chest began expanding unevenly, hardening into shapes she didn't recognize. Determined to fix it, she tried multiple liposuction surgeries, but the damage only deepened. The emotional impact was devastating. The world's most photographed woman retreated from the spotlight entirely. For years, she avoided cameras, events, and even close friends. Then, in a moment of extraordinary courage, she returned to the public eye. Not as the untouchable supermodel she once was, but as a symbol of resilience. Linda's honesty about her ordeal opened an important conversation about the hidden risks behind cosmetic enhancements and the importance of accepting ourselves beyond the mirror. Kenny Rogers, the legend who wished he stayed natural. Kenny Rogers was the kind of artist who didn't need flashy trends or dramatic reinventions. His warm tone, heartfelt storytelling, and calm presence made him a timeless figure in American music. But as cameras became sharper and the entertainment world grew more focused on appearance, he began feeling pressure to hold on to a youthful look. In the 1990s, Kenny underwent a facelift and eyelid procedures intended to refresh his image. Instead, they altered his appearance so drastically that fans were stunned. The rugged charm that made him instantly recognizable was replaced with a tight, polished expression that he openly admitted didn't feel like him. Kenny later said he regretted the decision, explaining that he only wanted a slight improvement, but ended up losing the natural masculinity that defined him. Despite the emotional weight of that transformation, he continued performing with the same passion, proving that his voice, not his appearance, was his true legacy. His journey remains a powerful reminder that even the most respected icons can fall prey to the pressures of staying youthful in an industry that never stops watching. Lisa Rinna, the trademark lips that changed everything. Lisa Rinna built a career on charisma, the kind of confident energy that lights up any room. But in 1986, long before she was a reality TV star, she made a decision that would shape her public image forever: permanent silicone lip injections. Inspired by Hollywood glamour, she believed fuller lips would boost her confidence and career opportunities. For years, it worked. Her pout became her signature look, but as time passed, the silicone began hardening. Lumps, uneven textures, and painful swelling appeared across her lips, turning what once felt like an enhancement into a daily struggle. After more than 2 decades, she had the scarred tissue removed, but her natural look could never completely return. She later experimented with fillers, Botox, and other procedures, hoping to find a balance between confidence and comfort. But public scrutiny intensified. Tabloids dissected every red carpet moment. Social media questioned her transformations. Finally, Lisa addressed everything openly, admitting she had dissolved fillers that didn't suit her and choosing a path toward authenticity. Today, she's transparent about her cosmetic journey, using her platform to speak honestly about beauty expectations, self-esteem, and the emotional weight of constantly trying to improve an appearance the world never stops judging. Joan Van Ark, the star who chased youth until it slipped away. Joan Van Ark was television royalty during the Knots Landing era. Her expressive eyes and effortless charm made her one of the most beloved actors of the 1970s and 1980s. But as the years passed and the entertainment industry grew even more image-driven, she turned to cosmetic procedures in hopes of maintaining her on-screen glow. A subtle rhinoplasty in the 1990s marked the beginning of a long cycle. More facelifts, eyelid surgeries, chemical peels, Botox sessions, and additional enhancements meant to maintain youthfulness. But the more she chased perfection, the more she drifted from the natural appearance fans adored. By the 2000s, her appearance changed significantly. Tighter skin, hollowed features, and a frozen expression that cameras could no longer hide. When Joan appeared at the 40th anniversary of Knots Landing, many were shocked by how different she looked. Yet despite criticism, Joan remains proud of her accomplishments and the career that inspired generations. Her story reveals how fast the quest for youth can overpower self-perception, and how embracing age gracefully is sometimes the most powerful statement of all. The Duchess of Alba. Royalty could buy everything except time. The Duchess of Alba was one of Europe's most fascinating aristocrats. Bold, vibrant, wealthy, and unafraid of the spotlight. With more than 40 noble titles, she lived a life of luxury few could imagine. But even she struggled with the same fear that haunts Hollywood, the fear of aging. In the 1980s, she began undergoing cosmetic procedures. A nose job, facial enhancements, fillers, and repeated Botox sessions. What began as subtle adjustments soon escalated into a long list of transformations that dramatically altered her once refined features. To make matters more complicated, she was diagnosed with a rare condition that caused facial swelling, prompting her to seek even more interventions. But instead of concealing the effects, the procedures intensified them, leaving her face stretched, uneven, and drastically changed. Yet the Duchess carried herself with confidence. She lived boldly, married later in life, and remained unapologetically herself until her passing. Her journey shows that even those with immense privilege cannot escape the emotional complexities of aging, and that self-worth can never be measured by how closely we cling to youth. LaToya Jackson. The weight of fame, comparisons, and reinvention. LaToya Jackson grew up in one of the most iconic families on Earth, a household where talent was abundant, expectations were enormous, and individuality was often overshadowed by the Jackson brand. From a young age, LaToya watched her siblings rise to global stardom, especially Michael, whose success set a standard almost impossible to match. Living in that environment came with an unspoken pressure. Looking perfect was part of the job, and falling short meant being judged instantly. By the late 1980s, that pressure pushed LaToya toward her first major cosmetic decision, a rhinoplasty that she hoped would refine her features and boost her confidence. The change became a hot topic overnight. Instead of quiet curiosity, the media exploded with comparisons between her and her brother. The intense public attention didn't make things easier. Through the 1990s and early 2000s, LaToya continued to make adjustments, facial contouring, cheek implants, fillers, and additional surgeries that slowly shifted her appearance. Each change became another headline, another round of speculation, another moment of scrutiny she never asked for. Instead of focusing on her music or her television appearances, critics fixated on her face, turning her journey into a talking point across entertainment outlets. But behind those headlines was a woman trying to find her place in a world that never gave her space to breathe. She wasn't just fighting expectations from Hollywood, she was fighting the shadow of a legendary family name. Today, LaToya embraces a calmer, more private life, stepping away from the comparisons that once defined her. Her story reflects the emotional toll of growing up in a spotlight so bright, it often erases the person standing in it. Goldie Hawn, the Hollywood sweetheart who felt the world watching for decades. Goldie Hawn represented the heart of Hollywood's sunshine. She didn't just act, she radiated joy. Her features were expressive, warm, and instantly recognizable, making her one of the most beloved stars from the 1970s to the early 2000s. But even someone with her natural charm couldn't escape the growing scrutiny of modern entertainment. As the industry evolved, aging became more noticeable under unforgiving lighting, digital lenses, and online commentary. Goldie, who built a career on her effortless glow, eventually turned to cosmetic enhancements in hopes of preserving the youthfulness fans knew so well. At first, the changes were subtle, small lifts, fillers, and treatments meant to refresh rather than reinvent. But as time passed, the adjustments became more visible. Each new appearance sparked conversation, especially during major events where her expressions appeared tighter and less spontaneous. Fans who adored her carefree spirit couldn't help noticing that something felt different. It wasn't just her features, it was the shift in the natural liveliness that once lit up every room she walked into. Still, Goldie never lost the energy that made her iconic. Despite criticism, she chose to live life on her own terms, focusing on her family, her relationship with Kurt Russell, and her foundation dedicated to children's emotional wellness. Her journey stands as a reminder that the pressure to stay youthful doesn't spare even the most universally loved stars. Behind the charm and laughter is a woman who simply wanted to maintain the image that millions fell in love with. The dark side of beauty culture. Hollywood may be the center of glamour, but it also sits at the center of relentless pressure. Celebrities don't just face cameras, they face high-definition judgment, online comparison culture, and a digital world that magnifies every small change. The pursuit of perfection isn't a choice for many stars, it becomes an expectation. Behind the scenes, stylists, producers, and executives often push performers toward maintaining an image that feels nearly impossible to keep. As stars age, as naturally as any human, they're told to keep up or risk being replaced. This pushes many toward enhancements that start small but grow over time as the demands increase. And unlike everyday people, celebrities must deal with millions of opinions analyzing every angle of their appearance. The emotional toll can be overwhelming. Some battle insecurity, others face public speculation that overshadows their accomplishments, and many silently struggle with the pressure to look unchanged even as life moves forward. These stories aren't about mistakes. They're about the invisible burden of trying to remain the version of yourself the world refuses to let go of. Hollywood rarely talks about this. It celebrates beauty but hides the cost. It creates superstars but often forgets their humanity. And as these stories show, the pursuit of the perfect look can lead to a journey filled with doubt, pressure, and consequences that last far beyond the spotlight. The final truth Hollywood never wants exposed. Every story you heard today reveals something deeper than cosmetic choices. These celebrities weren't chasing vanity. They were trying to keep up with a world that demands perfection at every age, every angle, every moment. Their journeys show how easy it is to lose yourself when the spotlight never dims, and how powerful it is to reclaim your identity when the world expects you to stay frozen in time. Behind every transformation is a human being who felt pressure, fear, insecurity, and hope. Some found strength again. Others stepped away to protect their peace. And all of them remind us that beauty isn't measured by smooth skin or flawless symmetry. It's shaped by experience, resilience, and the courage to tell the truth about what fame really costs. Hollywood might glamorize perfection, but real life is far more complicated. These stories prove that aging isn't a flaw, it's a privilege. And sometimes, the most powerful thing anyone can do is simply allow themselves to grow, to change, and to be fully human without apology. Before you go, ask yourself this: if the world watched your every change, would you still feel comfortable being yourself? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because more untold stories from behind the curtain are coming your way.